New 80s Revolution with Jason Nupp, a one-and-all show full of fun where anything can and does happen. Pickups, fan mail, toy reviews, camping with the New 80s Revolution Jr. Whatever the heck else does not fit into a specific category, Jason covers it right here, folks. And now, the host of the New 80s Revolution, Jason Nupp.
Hello, everybody. Hello, ho, ho, as they say here. The Christmas season is upon us, and this is the kickoff to Christmas on the New 80s Revolution. That's right. Going forward, we're going to have a few Christmas shows, including a very special Back to the 80s where we talk about just my hoarder house memories of Christmas past, Christmas of the 80s. We'll do a whole show dedicated to that. Tonight we kick things off with simply my favorite Christmas movies. That's right, my favorite Christmas movies. Movies that are guaranteed to be watched every single Christmas. Whether they are classics, whether I've watched them for 30 years, or whether I've watched them for the first time recently. These are the go-to movies that we as a family, or just me separately, will watch every single year. Of course, before we do that, we've got to have a Christmas beer. Now, Christmas everything is eaten up aplenty by this family. We love Christmas. We start celebrating October 31st, ladies and gentlemen. The kids come home from trick-or-treating. They open up their candies. We search for razor blades. And then we put up the Christmas tree. October 31st. That's been something we've been doing for about 3-4 years now, and it will be something we do for the rest of our days. But there is one thing about Christmas that I don't enjoy, and that is Christmas beers. I don't like a Christmas beer. Many, if not all, of your Christmas beers are filled with spices that I can't stand. Nutmeg and ginger and cinnamon and I don't know, coriander and cumin and maybe some other Eastern European spices that I don't care for. But if we're going to do this, if we're going to talk about my favorite Christmas movies, and if it's the kickoff to Christmas on the New 80s Revolution, I guess I got to choke down one of these. I bought a Saranac winter pack just to get me in the mood, and this one is the least Christmassy. It's just an IPA, but they call it a permafrost IPA to make it Christmassy. And I'm having this. I'm having the IPA. I'm going the safe route. It's just your standard IPA. Okay, Christmas movies. This is nothing innovative, guys. Nothing mind-blowing. Nothing hipster. Just your classics. Just your basic collection of Christmas movies. Probably the same Christmas movies that you all watch. We've got some horror mixed in there, of course. We've got some classics, we've got some comedy, we got some cartoons, movies that we watch as a family. Some of them we watch as a family. Some of them I watch with my wife, and some of them I watch alone. So let's do it. Let's get right into it. First one we have here, the original Christmas Specials collection from Rankin and Bass, ladies and gentlemen. I am not a big Rankin and Bass fan. I don't care for the animation, the stop motion or whatever. I don't like claymation, and I don't necessarily love Rankin and Bass's product. But I was obviously not cool enough when I was 8 or 9 to have an opinion like I do today on Rankin and Bass. I just loved them as a kid. Because they were on, they were on like early December, maybe late November, and they just thrust us right into the Christmas season. And 2 of these were usually on back-to-back on CBS at 8 and 8:30 during the week, and that was a special night, right? That was a very special night. We could go into our memories of that all night, but we'll save that for a very special Back to the 80s episode where we talk all about my insane hoarder house amount of memories of Christmas. We, as a family, will enjoy Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Frosty the Snowman, and Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Those are the 3 movies that we watch from this set. This set also includes The Little Drummer Boy and Cricket on the Hearth. Haven't seen either one of those. Don't know why. It's right here in the pack. They're only a half hour. We could probably sit down and watch them, but for whatever reason, we haven't. Bunch of extras that, again, I don't really interest me because I'm not a huge Rankin and Bass fan. I'm not into their history or anything like that. I just like these 3. These 3 movies feel good, and they usher in Christmas, and they, of course, bring you back to a time of yore. Is that how, the time of yore? Another one, maybe surprising to some of you, but I love this. Love this Christmas movie. Love this cartoon. Love the character. Love all the episodes. Curious George, ladies and gentlemen, became a part of my existence when my 8-year-old was born. When Liam came into the world, he, at 2, 3, and up, was a big Curious George fan. And before we had all the streaming, we would have we had cable or dish or whatever, and we would have a DVR full. I mean, like, at one point there was probably 80 episodes of Curious George because he would watch them daily. I mean, daily. He would watch Curious George, and he would watch, what's the other one you watch? Octonauts. And yes, and they were just collections of episodes. So I, of course, had to sit and watch Curious George and grew to love Curious George. I think it's a fantastic cartoon. I think it was on WXXI, actually. It was on PBS. That's our PBS, WXXI. But it was on PBS, and so we would watch it early in the morning when he was up. And like I said, grew to love Curious George. Very innocent, fun cartoon. Very relaxing. For some reason, the man with the yellow hat just brings very relaxing vibes. He never gets angry, he never gets flustered. He's always cool and calm. And anyway, Curious George, of course, had a full-length Christmas movie, The Curious George, A Very Monkey Christmas. We watch it every year. I will sit and not look away or not look at my phone or not fall asleep. I will sit through Curious George, Very Monkey Christmas because it's awesome. I recommend it. It's a very fun story. It's the whole point of the movie, the plot, whatever. Very fun, very Christmassy, good stuff. Love this movie. All right, kind of. So this one has been around. This one was around 18 years before I actually watched it, and I watched it for the first time in 2018 with the family, with Liam, with the kids, and. We love it. We watch it every year. There's a cartoon version of it too. That I think there's a cartoon version of it. Is there a cartoon version of it, Liam? Of Grinch? Grinch?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the cartoon version is hilarious. But we settled in one night a couple of years ago, and for the first time in 18 years, watched the Jim Carrey version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and it is awesome. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm sure that I'm the only weirdo that hasn't seen it since 2000. But it's fantastic because Jim Carrey is wonderful. He's an American icon. And I never get tired of Jim Carrey. And this is great. It's a great movie, great story. Hilarious. Some adult humor, a little scary at certain parts, I guess. I don't know. Not really scary, but good. Good stuff. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Tremendous Jim Carrey. Awesome. All right, this is, Liam has not actually seen this one or the next one yet. Actually, he hasn't seen the next, all of them, actually. So that's all right. We'll eliminate him from this discussion now. This one, of course I like. This is from 96. Because it involves action figures and toys and the hunt for an action figure. Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course. Phil Hartman. Good God, how could you not, love anything with Phil Hartman? Sinbad. Sinbad saves himself for me in this movie. I don't like Sinbad. I don't like his comedy style. But he's all right in this one. Jim Belushi's in this one. Good stuff. If you don't know, you got Arnold as kind of the, distant dad. He's busy at work, hard at work. And he gets a shot to be the hero and bring home the elusive Turbo Man, right? Back before Amazon, back before eBay, scalpers standing in line at Target at 6 in the morning. Turbo Man was a very hard action figure to get. And Arnold's little boy wants Turbo Man very badly. And Arnold must get it. He must come through. It gets a little silly at the end, with the parade and balloons. I mean, if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. So it kind of trails off a little bit with silliness. But the first 85% of the movie is just great movie. You gotta stick through the end and tolerate the silly ending. But Jingle All the Way, every year, starting in December, every year we go with Jingle All the Way. This movie, I mean, come on, what can you say about this? I have the steel book of it, which is pretty cool. Comes with, what do we got? We got the Blu-ray, we got the DVD. Fun. If you don't have the steel book of Home Alone, let me show you. The inside has a pretty cool this is the battle plan, the Kevin McAllister battle plan inside the steel book. I don't collect steel books or anything. This just happened to be at Best Buy several years ago, and I ended up getting it. Not for any reason. How the heck do you put these back in here? Why is it not going in? Why is this arguing with me? Anyway, all right, we'll figure it out. Anyway, Home Alone, tremendous. Every year. Sometimes I can't even wait until Christmas to watch Home Alone because it's just so good. I don't have to give you the plot. I don't know if I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen Home Alone, but it's pretty good. Everything about it is good. I just love it. And Joe Pesci is tolerable in Home Alone. I am not a Joe Pesci fan. I think he's like, I don't know. I think he's like really one-dimensional. He has one character, and he's like an annoying gangster guy with a squeaky little voice who thinks he can beat up everybody. I don't like Joe Pesci, but he's tolerable in this movie. He's okay. He's not the Joe Pesci that we know from, all the movies. But he's here, and of course the voice of Kevin Arnold is in this movie. Of course, you know who that is. And Macaulay Culkin. Home Alone. What can you say? It's one of the best concepts. Crazy. I mean, the kid gets left home alone. Like 19 kids all go to Paris, I think, and Kevin wakes up alone, has the run of the house, loves it, having the time of his life, until the bad guys try to break in. And he's got to defend his castle. All right. Another steelbook here that I have. This, boy, oh boy. When we do the Back to the 80s Christmas Memories portion show, this movie, and you all know, you have all loved this just as much as I do. Whether I remember renting this. We had a video store within like walking distance of one place I lived. I don't know, and they would give memberships to anybody. So 12-year-old kid had a membership at a video store, and for $1 or $2, you'd get the VHS tapes. I would go and I would get Christmas Story several times a year. I would just watch it throughout the year. You get a little older, you can't really do that. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel authentic. You wait until at least December, at least November, to dig into the Christmas Story. This is a blowaway every single time. One of the greatest. Maybe of all of these, my number one. Just a movie that has so many feelings wrapped up in it, so many memories. And the fact that I think they've been playing it 24 hours since I was maybe, I think I was a little older when they started playing it for 24 hours. I think I was in my late teens when TBS first started doing a 24 hours of Christmas Story. And then I think TNT jumped on board and both channels did it 24/7. I'll tell you, I don't pop the disc in on Christmas. It's just on in the background. So you watch like the last 15 minutes, then you catch the first 30 minutes, then you get it somewhere in the middle, and then, go into bed. It's on in the background on Christmas Eve. I let it play in the background. Christmas Story. The best. The best. I would love to see some of these guys at a Comic-Con. Peter Billingsley, obviously, I would love to see at a Comic-Con. Darren McGavin, the dad, is no longer with us. I think Melinda Dillon, the mom, might have passed away recently. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'd love to run into a few of these guys at a convention and just meet them. These are real childhood relics right here, real icons. Let's see. Do we do the romance first? No, let's stick with comedy. Along the same lines of A Christmas Story, you cannot. There should be. I mean, this belongs in the Smithsonian, right? This belongs on the on Mount Rushmore, right? This movie belongs in just retired. It belongs in a Hall of Fame. It's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. You can't say it's the greatest movie of all time. I mean, that would be silly. But I sit here and I say, it's the greatest movie of all time. Right? It's really not. But it's the greatest movie of all time. How many of us can just sit down and just lip sync this movie the entire time it's on? I drive people nuts because I just finish sentences. I'm that guy. I finish sentences. I quote the movie. I'm annoying in that way, But Christmas Vacation, one of the best ever. What can you say? This just man, so many wonderful, wonderful moments. Christmas Vacation. You have not seen that yet, but you'll love it when the time comes. All right, let's do another. So we'll get into the classics. I need to pick up Miracle on 34th Street. I don't have that. I just saw it at Best Buy yesterday. It's like $9.99. Right next to it was a movie called Holiday Inn, another beautiful black and white classic that I have not seen. But I got to get them. I don't have them, but they're on the list. They're on the must-see Christmas movies. You know that this is on everybody's list. It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. Voted the #1 most inspiring film of all time by the American Film Institute's 100 Years, 100 Cheers. Okay, sure. Most inspirational movie of all time? No, probably not. But, God, so good. Unfortunately, this has the colorized version of the movie in addition to so it's a two Blu-ray set, colorized, non-colorized. The colorized version will never see the light of day. It will never be aired in my home. Jimmy Stewart, ladies and gentlemen, is an icon. He's a tremendous actor. And when you watch a Jimmy Stewart movie, especially this one, you gotta almost wonder if there was a script for him, because he's just off on his own little trip, right? You can't write for Jimmy Stewart's mannerisms. You can't write for his stutter, for his, that's all him, You can't write that. So when he's just, doing his thing, and that's all him, man, and that's all throughout this movie, where he is just taken over. Of course, it's a beautiful story. Of course, it's a Wonderful Life. So good. Every year, it's a Wonderful Life. If you want some romance in your life, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to impress the ladies, you watch this one, Love Actually. Hugh Grant. At one point, Hugh Grant was like my favorite actor. I loved Hugh Grant. What is going on over there? What are you doing?
I'm trying to take the game out.
Well, you can't take the game out. It's stuck. Just play Mario until we're done, okay? We got like 2 more discs to go. Can you help your brother, please?
I don't know how to take it out.
Well, just figure it out. It's all right.
I want to play this for dinner.
He wants to play. So what I'm going to have to do now is I'm going to have to stop this video and go switch out the Nintendo games, because 4-year-olds apparently cannot switch out Nintendo games. So I will do that. So he will be quiet, and then we'll talk about the next two movies. I will be right back. All right, we're back. Had to switch out a Nintendo game. How I knew how to do it at 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, I don't know. But the kids today, they've lost their ability to swap out Nintendo games. Like I was saying, if you want to get in good with the ladies, you grab yourself some Love Actually. I love this movie. Okay, I'll admit it. I love Notting Hill. I think that movie is like the best. Okay, the best if you want to. I don't know, if you're taking a girl out in 1995, go take her to Notting Hill. This is this is great. I mean, this is a fun little, not a. It's one of those. What's that called? Where everybody has their own little story going on, and they all kind of meet at the end there. What do we say? What do we call it? This delightful romantic comedy follows 8 couples whose lives intersect shortly before Christmas. That's right. Really great stuff. Hugh Grant is actually like the British Prime Minister in this movie, and he falls in love with one of his helpers. One of his secretaries, I suppose. We've got the Walking Dead's Andrew Lincoln is in here before he was anybody. Keira Knightley, when she just was a walking piece of perfection. What else? There's a story of a little boy, falling in love. It's just good stuff. Good stuff. Love Actually. Love Actually is all around us at Christmas time. Check it out. It's good. Watch it with your lady or your fella. Whatever. I don't care. All right, we'll wrap things up with a couple of horror movies. Gremlins, ladies and gentlemen. Gremlins at Christmas time. That's it. This movie takes place at Christmas time. There's a lot of snow in this movie. There's a lot of Christmassy stuff. And the Gremlins, Gizmo was a Christmas present. So, of course, it's Christmas. And we all know what happens with Gizmo. He gets, or one of the Gremlins, gets fed or watered or sees light or something. And all heck breaks loose at Christmas time in Gremlins. Another annual guarantee that we'll be watching Gremlins this year. Finally, the least joyous, the least festive holiday Christmas movie of them all. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yes, this gets a run every Christmas for one reason. One reason. And if you know me, if you know this channel, you know what the one reason is, right? Is it because I'm such a gore fan? Because I just love the murderous plot? The sinister Santa? No. The reason I love this movie is because most of it takes place in a toy store. That's right. Most of the movie takes place in an 80s toy store with real, true 80s stuff. Right? It's not just your generic, gimmicky movie toy store that has like dollies and dollhouses and trains. No, it's an 80s toy store. So the whole movie, I'm like staring and trying to study and pick out everything that's on the shelves of this toy store in the movie. Now, as a horror film, it's great. It's good, I think. But the vibe, man, the atmosphere of this movie. Basically being in a toy store the whole time is the reason why I love this. And I added every Christmas to the list, Silent Night, Deadly Night. That's that. That is so you saw the movie disappear off the table. We've got the little hands of Liam trying to get a glimpse of the back of the DVD, trying to see some kind of terror.
I saw the terror in this one.
There's no terror in that one. So that's that, guys. That is the kickoff of the New 80s Revolution Welcomes Christmas. We talked about my favorite Christmas movies, the ones that get a play every year, a guaranteed play. And if I'm hanging out by myself, if I'm just in the mood for a movie by myself, we bust out the 2 Christmas clamshells of It's a Wonderful Life and Christmas Story. I love these. This is the only thing I have as far as Christmas VHS tapes are these 2. So we'll watch those all by my lonesome down here in a dark cave, all by myself watching Christmas movies. What are you doing? Which one are you looking forward to the most this year? Silent Night, Deadly Night? Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. You know this. This is yours. That's your jam. You love the George Christmas movie. No, you don't have to go in front of the camera. You don't have to go in front of the camera. They can see. You don't have to. You just blinded them with your ultra close-up of your movie. All right, that's that. We will, like I said, we'll be back with a very special Back to the 80s episode where we just sit down here and talk about Christmas memories. I'll also bring you upstairs. I'll bring you upstairs and I'll give you a tour of the house.
Hey, that'll be tonight.
Want to do that tonight? We'll give you a tour of the house. Maybe it'll be at the end of this video. Maybe it won't. I don't know. But if it's not, then we'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out with us. Merry Christmas. A good night now.
Goodbye. It's been a